iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them for abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of Outlaws.
Good evening, good afternoon, race fans, wherever you're making RaceSpotTV part of your day. Thanks for taking us along with you. We are here live at Lanier National Speedway. We've covered it with some dirt. We're going to get some of these 410 wing sprint cars ready to rock and roll here for the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series. We hope you follow along. It's the whole gang here. It's Randy, myself, and Hugo. We'll be back in just a few moments' time with everything here at Lanier. New racing track, new racing style. Let's see how it goes. Just a few minutes time.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them for abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of Outlaws.
Oh, welcome. We are here at Lanier National Speedway. 0.38 of a mile here, of course, in Brazelton, Georgia, here in the U.S., of course. 410 wing sprint cars on the docket for today. World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series. You're watching live on RaceSpotTV, iRacing Live, and, of course, DirtVision.com. Myself, Cameron Walsh, Randy Chenner, Hugo Louie in the booth, and we're going right to the grid. Austin Semmelman, he's going to be starting in second. Tim Ryan, a wonderful lap. 1/10 of a second faster than Mr. Semmelman. So that's your front row. Tim Ryan just waiting on him to get on the grid before we start our tour of the track here. Before we get there, there he is. Bob King will be starting in third position. Lewis Hewitt in fourth. Christopher Bell will be starting in the fifth position. Bradley Cash in the sixth position. Alex Bergeron in seventh. Matthew McKinney in eighth position. Stephen Renaud in ninth. Kevin J. Holly, he's in 10th. Dylan Semmelman in the 11th. Daniel Gowan 12th. Anthony Lopresto, who starts in 13th. Dylan Wagner in 14th. Nick Cooper 15th. Well, Randy, cars are rolling off right now. Real quick, just looking at this Lanier National Speedway, it looked to me like the cars were at least trying to run the high side.
Yeah, top side is definitely quick and quality. Cam taking big, deep breaths after hauling through the grid right there as we start a little late tonight. But yeah, the top looked quick. The middle looks pretty slick. And if you look at that top groove going into 3 and 4, it's already starting to slick up as these guys go out for the first of their 2 pace laps tonight. But Tim Ryan, back-to-back poles here, and Austin Semmelman a little bit further off than I think he'd like to be. But if we see anything like we saw last week, I think we have to keep an eye on that number 6, Christopher Bell. Real-life experience, I think, is going to pay off in dividends if this track slickens up.
Yeah, we'll have to see here. The inside doesn't look too tender right now. The pace truck looking to pull in. It is leagues ahead of the field as there goes the pace truck in. Austin Semmelman, he's not giving an inch to Tim Ryan. Tim Ryan, off and away he goes through the middle of 3 and 4, and he brings us to the green immediately. Jumps to the high side in front of Austin Semmelman. We all make it through 1 and 2 clean. Only 2 cars on the inside. That was Christopher Bell and Alex Bergeron.
Those are cars that started down on the inside groove, and they've yet to be able to get up to that top side. So we're seeing them struggle a little bit. Christopher Bell, excuse me, going to be able to get up there, but Austin Selman has reeled in that 3 machine to Tim Ryan, who had a fantastic start of this motor race. And as they go running off into 1 and 2 here, Selman is right under that rear wing of Tim Ryan, and they come now down the back straightaway, already working lap number 3, beginning to lap number 4 now.
That number 3 machine looking fairly strong over Austin Selman. They throw it in just enough. I'd say they're throwing it about maybe a 30, 45 degree angle. They're not really chopping the corner like you would expect. Nobody is on the inside line, even though this track is listed as having moderately low usage. Well, it doesn't look low to me. I'm sure once we get this thing rolling here, as we look like we've got a great green flag run going, that top side is going to fall away. And once that starts falling away, that's when things are going to get real interesting, because this track doesn't really seem tenable to where people really need to be able to go. Once that high side goes away, where will they go? Who knows? Austin Selman, he's trying to find his way. He's taking a slightly more narrow entry into the corner. Nothing's there, though, as the rest of the field now staying single file. Alex Bergeron making a little bit of contact. Christopher Bell.
And Bergeron looks to the bottom, pulls off a slider, but makes contact with someone back there. Bergeron slow in the background. Not sure who that was he tagged, but that was a really ambitious move there from the 4 machine, trying to throw it down there early here on the 6 stuff. I think it's a little early to be doing that. Too much speed up top. Now the in number 8 of Bradley Cash, he tagged on the outside of 3 and 4. It looks like no major damage for anybody, though. And Christopher Bell does a good job to sneak on by there. So I think we should just be getting a fairly clean restart and shouldn't lose anyone, as the pace truck takes an interesting route.
Yeah, it does. It does. It is a 4-wheel machine. It is a 4x4, of course.
Rip that jersey barrier.
It is ready to take on anything. If that had a manufacturer, I would advertise it. But either way. Alex Bergeron, you know what? Honestly, out of all the cautions we've had, this is probably the most harmless. That could have been really bad. Very good driving by everybody. Not to slam on the brakes or do anything crazy, as Alex Bergeron will find himself all the way back at the end of the line. They're bringing us around one more time. The leader is hanging way back, and I do not like this as they're going 2 by 2. But this is like the 2nd or 3rd week in a row that they've been doing this, where they hang way back, and I haven't been a huge fan of it. But you know what? Tim Ryan wants to stack the field up, and he's staying about 3 corners, maybe about 2 corners away from the pace truck. Pace truck goes in. It's all in the right foot of Tim Ryan, as we'll go back to green one more time. Starting on lap number 10 of 30 here, Tim Ryan gets the whole shot, all the way diving to the inside. Bradley Cash is, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to slide in.
He's going to be struggled down there on that bottom for now. If we get another green flag run here, if we can go to the end, I think we'll see that top side just start to fall away. But there is a bit of room up on the top side for these guys to use. Austin Tillman falls back from that 3 machine just a little bit, and Bob King has done a good job to reel that gap in. It's now basically a 3-car scrap here going into 1 and 2. And you see Christopher Bell, he attempts a big slider here going through 1 and 2. He doesn't get it right. There's going to be a big pile up here on the back straightaway. 3, 4, 5, 6 cars involved, 1 up on its lid. That's Daniel Gow, who's upside down. Yellow's going to fly once again.
Yeah, many vehicles involved. Steven Renaud, after this, he went all the way to the inside and ended up clipping the inside barrier. Dylan Semmelman's involved. Nick Kipru's involved. Daniel Gow, Kevin J. Holly, I think, actually managed to get through that cleanly. Yes, he did. So Kevin J. Holly got through that clean, but Dylan Wagner, I see, severely damaged, as well as, of course, Christopher Bell. Not quite sure where everybody is. I think Alex Bergeron is just pulling into the pits. I think his day might be done. Daniel Go's day is going to be done. And not what we wanted to see here. But you know what? Honestly, out of everything that could have happened, everyone just got on the binders, Randy. And I think that really mitigated any damage.
Yeah, luckily for the most part, it was light tapped. We got 1 car landed up on his lid, but for the most part, you're right. Nothing really hard, nothing really serious. But I'm a little surprised to see people throwing aggressive sliders right now. The way this track is really, worn in at the moment, there's just no way you can make a slider on the bottom work. It's just so slick down there that you're only going to run up the racetrack, and there's so much traction up top that whoever you try to get by, you need to, they're just going to basically continue to drive around you. So if you attempt it, it's just going to be an incident. I think you got to give it about another 10 laps running before that's even going to be an option, as pace car comes in now.
Yeah, I was going to say they're going to have to really hustle and get themselves stacked up, which they do. Tim Ryan holding 1, holding 2, holding 3. He gets the whole shot. Now the inside Bob King really tries to throw it in. He'll try to throw the slider immediately on Austin Sullivan. They'll make contact. That pushes Austin Sullivan way in the back. They're going 3 wide. Cars all sorts of going over the places, and there is one in the wall, and that is Matthew McKinney. But you know what? He's able to continually pull in the pits. No, he won't. You're still green.
Number 9 machine of Bob King went around as well after trying to throw that slider. And this is giving the number 3 of Tim Ryan a huge advantage over the rest of your field as he currently cycles through 1 and 2 with a 1.2 second lead over the 5 of Lewis Hewitt as we're approaching 10 laps to go. There's a big cluster of cars in your mid-pack as Austin Selman has gotten shuffled back there. And now look to him to maybe try to run his way through this field. He's already back up into 4th, now chasing Steven Renaud as they come off that second corner. And I think that top side is going to start dying off here in the next few laps. So look for maybe the people start looking around here in the next 1 to 2 laps.
And the question is, where do they look? That inside line, you got to remember, of course, it looks level, it looks even all the way through, but really the apron is still in there. Of course, this is an asphalt track that has dirt laid on top of it. Tim Ryan pulling almost an Eldora line. He is as high as you can go on the wall, but that apron is still down there, so you got that flat section and then the banking. So what ends up happening is as the track wears in, you can actually feel the difference between the apron and the banking. But either way, though, Tim Ryan doing a fairly decent job after that start. I think, obviously, taking advantage of that pass from Bob King on Austin Selman. But we have caution out on the track.
Yeah, not sure what for. We saw Steven Renaud and Austin Selman were fighting pretty hard at one point, but Nick Cooper, he's the one who ended up going around. And that top side, due to these cautions, Cam, hasn't tied off the way I expected it to. I don't think this is going to be a very racy restart to the end. It's going to be all about who can get to that top side quick and early and who can keep that positioning up there. The bottom just is so slick right now that sliders aren't really going to be too viable. Everyone we've seen attempt one has just slid up in front of the other car and either gotten into that other car or been able to carry no momentum off the corner.
It looked to me like Nick Cooper through the rear, and it was catching, and then it just died off and straightened out on him. And obviously, once you get to that point, not much you can do. Dylan Semmelman found himself already having a bit of a bad day, but either way, of course, I guess we got a replay of the restart. That's all right. We'll get a double replay of the restart as we're going to be on lap number 26 of 30, which Randy will bring us as we are got the 1 to go already. It'll bring us, what, a 3-lap shootout?
Yeah, it'll be a 3-lap shootout from here. It's 4 to go this time by and then 3 to go at the line. So very short run these guys are going to have. All about the jump here. And if you're Lewis Hewitt, restarted 4th, currently 2nd. Don't let Tim Ryan get that Christmas tree style restart here on everyone as the light's just going to go out now.
Yeah, pace truck's going in. Tim Ryan doesn't wait at all. They're going 4 wide across the start-finish line. They sort it all out, though, and they work themselves through. Lewis Hewitt, he's hoping to have a good finish here. We'll see if we can continue to have a green flag run as they're sticking way to the high side as Bradley Cash, he's actually finding grip in the middle over Steven Renaud as we've only got a few laps to go.
Gonna be 2 laps to go, coming to the white this time, and Tim Ryan has a big advantage. Austin Selman, will he be the first to pull a successful slider? No, pulled up alongside Lewis Hewitt, gets way out of the throttle and cycles back into 3rd, and I don't think he'll get another opportunity. Off of 2, coming to checkered this time.
Tim Ryan, he's going to be able to take the checkered flag. Austin Selman, he throws a major slider. They have a drag race to the finish, and it is going to be Austin Selman. He makes it work and sneaks it, going through 3 and 4. Absolutely sensational. Cars all rolling across, and we had a green flag finish, and Randy, that's what we want to see.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want to see. Fantastic racing there by the number 1 of Austin Selman, the only person we've seen all night really be able to pull those moves off successfully. The first time he did it, he pulled up right alongside Lewis Hewitt, and basically you realize he had to get out of the throttle, and he was patient, really patient with it, lifted of it, and because of that, we kept running and stayed green, and then going into 3 and 4. That was the only time up front we saw that successful pass, and he fully committed, came very close to driving up what would be the track entrance there on the outside, but he got good power along the berm up top, and he prevented Lewis Hewitt from driving it down underneath them. Just about 1/100th of a second was the margin there, 2/100th of a second, excuse me, across the stripe, but very close there between Selman and Hewitt. Very slick racetrack there in the middle, made it very difficult to race.
It did. That was a massive commitment to go from basically the middle of the backstretch all the way to the inside, all the way to the outside. So great maneuver right there. Let's take a look at the results. The World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series here on iRacing, RaceSpotTV, iRacing Live, DirtVision.com. Let's take a look at it and go through the full results. Tim Ryan, well, he started first, finishes first. After 8 minutes and 34 seconds of running here, Austin Selman, a massive slider. He'll end up getting the position. Lewis Hewitt will finish in third position. Bradley Cash, he was trying to work that middle in the end. Started sixth, finished fourth. Not a bad day. Steven Renaud, he started ninth and finished fifth. Obviously, a lot of that capitalizing on the incidents in the mid-pack, but you know what? Take it when you can get it. Dylan Wagner, he'll finish in the 6th position. Dylan Simmelman, he'll finish in 7th position. Kevin J. Holly finds himself home in 8th. Anthony Laprosto comes home in the 9th position. Nick Cooper in 10th. Matthew McKinney, he'll finish in the 11th position. Bob King, oh, what could have been, started in 3rd. He finishes in 12th after a massive attempt on a slider going on 1 and 2. Didn't work. Cycled himself well on back. 3 cars retiring: Christopher Bell, Alex Bergeron, and Daniel Gao. I gotta say, you know, Lanier, it's a new racing circuit. We haven't really seen it here, Randy. I thought it went fairly well.
Yeah, this is the first time we've had it here on these Monday night broadcasts, and it was a pretty, you know, it's very interesting start of racing. It's the shortest racetrack we currently have on the dirt schedule here on iRacing at 3/8 of a mile, so always awesome to see. You know, everything else is basically a half-mile racetrack, maybe a little shorter, a little longer, but they race as big circuits. This is a little bit tighter, and because of that, a lot more interesting to watch. I really can't wait for when we get some smaller racetracks, things of like quarter miles and things of that nature. That's going to be a lot of fun, but I can't wait to see what happens with this racetrack. I think, you know, I have a feeling that if we get a long enough green flag run and a good track state starting out, I think we're going to see racing like we saw last week at USA. I think Lanier could be one of the best tracks on the schedule.
Yeah, I mean, that was some pretty good racing right there. I mean, the track, even though it was listed as lower usage, that thing really, that middle line was really torn up. But either way, we've got our second place finisher of Austin Selman here, and he is going to be joining us in at the RaceSpotTV booth. Let's see if we can get him up here. Austin Selman, that massive slider going into 3 and 4, huge commitments. There we go, Austin Selman. Well, it's not the race win, but you know what? That was an amazing move on that last lap.
Yeah, it was exciting. Just driving a little frustrated, actually, but glad it stuck. Yeah, happy to get another second out of it. Been pretty consistent lately.
Yeah, now going through, obviously this is our first trip here to Lanier National Speedway. We had a really good green flag run at the start, but you know what? We had a couple of those cautions in the middle. Quite a bit of people were really not very hesitant to pull the trigger on maneuvers that might not have worked out, and I think we saw that in the middle section of this race. Oh
yeah, when everybody gets lined up behind the leaders, I think they're going to pass 3 rows on a restart, which can't happen. So it's kind of frustrating, but like I said, I'm happy to somehow get out of there with a second place finish, even though I felt like I had the fastest car. I was just being patient really early on, kind of just following Tim, waiting for the track to do something, and kind of waiting until the track come to me, which it did. But we saw what happened on that restart there.
Yeah, that was interesting, but either way, though, Austin, I think it went fairly well overall. Obviously, a lot of issues, I'd have to say, with tracks all jumping through. But either way, though, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to TeamVLR.com. Alex got taken out on that one, unfortunately, but we were fast again. Just couldn't get the W tonight. But VLR, iWraps, we had them on the car, of course. Word is we got something special coming for Breast Cancer Awareness Month coming up. We got some pink coming on the car, so that'll be cool. Buffalo Wild Wings, as always. Just saying, you guys for putting this on.
Well, thanks very much for hopping in the booth with us and giving us some eyes on the ground. We, of course, wish you the best of luck at Williams Grove. I think you've had a lot of success there going forward, so hopefully it goes well.
Yeah, thank you. I've been really consistent this year, with the exception of the first race when I was leading and got taken out. But got some couple of good runs here. You know, finishing in the top 3, and Williams Grove's always been a good track for me. So looking to go back there and see if we can get a win.
All right, Austin Selman, thanks very much. We'll
thanks,
talk
guys.
to you next week. So, Randy, well, we've had 30 laps here. Quite a bit of it was under caution. I'd probably say maybe 10, 12 laps of it was under the yellow flag. But you know what? The racing that we did see looks promising.
Yeah, it did. You know, with it being the first time out, you know, that was fairly standard. You know, the very first time this track, you know, not even the first time it's been broadcast, but the first time for these 410s that has been put into the official schedule, and that was the first race of the week. So I think everyone did a relatively good job, all things considering. You know, but going next week, we're going into a little bit more of a known quantity in Williams Grove, back to the half-mile racetrack in Pennsylvania. 30 laps around that place as well. That should be a good one.
Yeah, should be. So, Hugo, I think it is about that time. We're going to cue the music. We're going to start heading out. But before we do, we'd like to thank you for making RaceSpotTV part of your day. The World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series here on iRacing is, of course, on iRacing Live, RaceSpotTV, and DirtVision.com. Randy Chenoweth, myself, Cam Walsh, and Hugo Louis, and the production booth. And we'd like to thank you very much for making us part of your day here from Lanier National Speedway, of course, with our brand spanking new overlays from Anwern Design and all the rest of the crew that make that work. Thank them very much. And, of course, thank you for making us part of your day. We'll catch you next time. It's Williams Grove. We seem to have good races there. Let's see if we can roll it on to Week 4. This has been Week 3, World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series here from Lanier. Have a good one. So long for now.